All right, today, oh my goodness, you're not going to, this is the whole thing's going to just be amazing. Can't wait to bring you this unbelievable guest. Flew in from Jersey today to introduce Instant Cryo with us. This is Christian Kadowski. Kadowski, right?
Kadowski.
Got that right. Kadowski. Didn't want to get confused with Butowski, Urban Daredevil. But we do actually have Cryo Daredevil, man, that's for sure. Flew in from Jersey today. He's going to be answering a bunch of live questions with us here, covering instant cryo, because cryotherapy is like huge, super popular. Cold therapy, contrast therapy, there's so much in this now. But hey, I brought the man himself. I brought the cryo daredevil in, who's going to be answering some questions for us, helping people. Remember, helping you most of all. When you're selecting for cryotherapy type devices and products, why instant cryo? Why this one? And all I can say is, hey, I'm going like all in on this, and here's why. So first of all, let me introduce you, Christian from Instant Cryo. Christian, say hello. Tell them a little bit about Instant Cryo.
What's up, guys? I'm Christian. I had North American sales and operations in the United States for Instant Cryo. Pleasure to be here with the V-Man himself. Instant Cryo, handheld, localized cryotherapy device. Uses liquid CO2. That's the big difference. Remember that if you remember anything. Liquid CO2 over liquid nitrogen. Completely different kind of therapy. Get you the best results out of any cryo or cold therapy system in the world. This is the one.
Oh, that's a mouthful right there, and that's a big claim, brother. And today, you're going to have to back it up, and better than that, show me, don't tell me. We're going to find out right here live. So, I love, do you see this guy? Let's do this, man. Very few people are that go-getter, because he's got a level of certainty that you're about to discover with this technology that hopefully when you make a decision on investing into cryotherapy of any sort or any level, you'll start here and then progress up to something maybe bigger, more expensive. But Christian, typically, a cryo chamber, it's $110,000, not to include the $2,000 a month electrical bill, not to include the $500 a month, preventive maintenance fee you got to pay on top of that. So all in, just to kind of get started, you're looking at $120-something thousand just to kind of get started. Kind of give us a level, where are we getting started with Instant Cryo, just as a starting point financially?
Oh, price-wise, this will cost you $17,000. Comes with the device, all of our nozzles, our thermal imaging camera. Literally everything we got, we give it to you. And it comes with 7 days a week support. You got any questions about the therapy, how to make a better business with it, how to treat a certain injury. Doesn't matter what it is, 7 days a week, text message, phone call. You can hit up me and the founder of this therapy and get your questions answered right on the spot. The only other cost you have associated with it is the liquid CO2, which is much cheaper than traditional nitrogen. So all in all, per treatment costs you about $1 to use moving forward.
Wow, that's a big difference there. Now, one thing, let's just start going through some of the checklists, right? Checklist. So from an investment perspective, again, we're not anti anything. We're not against anything. We love it all. But when we're kind of making a decision from a business perspective, and remember, this is all about return on investment, making money and monetizing stuff. So by the time you get a return on that investment on that cryo chamber at $110,000, it's going to be a long time, versus this coming in at under $20,000. So under $20,000, you should probably see a return on investment. When would you say, Christian?
Most people pay this off, with no business at all. They buy this, they start a business, they pay it off within the first 6 to 8 months. I see some people paying it off much faster than that. If you're doing some people just buy it for personal use. They want to make a little bit of money with it. It takes them a little bit while longer. But the fastest, we just had someone pay this thing off in 10 weeks with no prior business experience or business. They made an LLC to buy this thing, made $17K in their first 10 weeks.
Okay, so right away we've got the investment perspective. All right, more affordable option to start, right? If you're getting into cryotherapy or adding it into your business, whether it be spa, recovery, wellness, biohacking, longevity, sports performance, bodybuilding. we're going to discover there's some new stuff we've been testing on this that most people don't know that you can do. So from an investment, check that one. Initial investment, check that one, Instant Cryo. And then two, from a return on investment, you're right about 10 weeks, for somebody who actually knows their stuff. I'm going to say that I believe I can do it in 4, and I'll show you how in just a moment. But I believe 4 could be really the standard, because I'm going to use it in a pre-sale. And I bet these people who paid off in 10 weeks didn't do a pre-sale of sessions or programs with it, which is what I would do with this. So I'd have it paid off before it even hit my floor or came in the door. But that's just thinking a different level. Okay, so next, let's move into warranty on this. Typical warranty on this. So again, the big old cryo chambers, you're spending so it comes with a warranty, but then you're paying $500 a month in addition per month for warranty on a big cryo chamber. What do we got on this? What's the warranty on this?
Manufacturer's warranty is 2 years. Oldest device been on the market for about 6 years now. Not a single problem with it at all. Still runs just like the first day.
So, Christian, that's amazing you said that. So here would be my challenge. Go online, research, do your own homework, and find out, and call up other club owners, spa owners, business owners as well too, and find out if they're having the same success with a big cryo chamber. And then also let's throw in cold plunges as well too, because I'm hearing a lot of challenging issues with cold plunges as well as cryo chambers. Cold plunges is up there, super popular as well too. And also too, from an investment perspective, if you're looking at a good high quality cold plunge, you're looking at about 20 grand for one of those, a good high quality, which I only know a couple of companies who make a really high quality one of those. So now let's keep moving forward. We got warranty, and then we got that. All right. So now let's go to the next real cold point. Mr. Freeze here, Christian from Instant Cryo. So Christian, next question I got for you. So when it comes to using technology like this and modalities like Instant Cryo, cold plunges, cryo chambers, all the stuff that's out there that's getting into the coldness nowadays, everybody's using it for recovery, man. So obviously this can be used for recovery. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. That's the main idea of it, right? There are many ways to use the Instant Cryo, but we see the best results for recovery. It's similar to a lot of cold therapies, right? We're cooling down the surface temperature of the skin and tricking the body into having these certain physiological responses that are great for healing. But you know what makes this thing so much different?
What's that?
The speed.
What?
Instant.
What?
So most cryo or cold modalities cool down the surface temperature of your skin to about 48 or 50 degrees Fahrenheit over a certain period of time. For ice, it takes about 20 minutes. For big liquid nitrogen cryotherapy chambers, it takes about 3 to 5 minutes. We bring it down not just to 48 or 50 degrees, but down to 35 to 39 degrees in under 30 seconds. So the speed at which you do that seems to make the body's responses a lot more potent, which makes it a very viable modality for not only healing people, but doing it in a way that's convenient for everybody, right? Nobody wants to sit around and take their shoes off and take their shirt off and hop into the cold plunge and then go to work. You don't got to do that.
Wow. Now, let's stay on that point. Now, you said it's great for recovery. You ready, Doug? I'm bringing the big guns right now. How about pre-workout, pre-training? Dude, I want to pump for my biceps, my chest, my Butowski back here, my quads. Could this be used for that?
Oh, absolutely.
What?
Yeah.
Come on now.
Yeah.
How? Tell me about that.
This thing is all modalities, all about the blood flow. Getting the blood flow to the area is what we want to do. The blood carries the nutrients and all the things that we need for healing and recovery. Most cold modalities, cold therapies, are aimed at kind of siphoning off the blood, right? It's called vasoconstriction. Everything constricts in diameter. But we do this thing so fast that it actually increases the blood flow to the area that you treated by 4 times the normal volume. 4 times the normal volume.
Get out!
I swear to God, you got to check out the videos. I'll send them over. So you can use this before you work out and get a sweet pump. You can do it while you're lifting and get a sweet pump. You did it. You know.
That's what I was teasing them with. I just didn't want to I didn't want to show my hand. I didn't want to, hey, show my hand here. So now wait a second. You hear what Christian just said. With Instant Cryo, you can make this portable. So it is portable. So you can move it out on the floor, the main floor. So if you've got personal trainers, massage therapists, estheticians, whatever you've got in your staff, if you're looking to get those people to get access, first of all, it's portable so you can move it around. But what he just said, he's 100% right. I had him demo because we came up with this concept. And this is the first time you're hearing it on social media, period. Pre-workout, Instant Cryo, we're using it before you go out there and lift your weights. And just like he said, because it's instant, wait till you experience. Now again, you're going to see video. We got video coverage and we did the thermo imaging. So we got the thermal imaging data as well too to verify this as well. But again, hey, all due respect, do your own testing, do your own finding out for yourself. I'm not saying trust and believe everything I'm saying. I'm saying test, measure, and find out for yourself. But just think about that. When my son came over today, because I did it, I had him do it on me, and then he said, well, what did you feel? And what did I say to you, Christian?
Nothing. No, I'm just kidding.
That's the truth, though. I didn't. But I said, hey, you do it. Let me do it to him. So I actually did it to him. Then what happened?
I was like, wow, I feel such a better pump. I feel a lot more strength in this arm that you sprayed. I feel sore in this one. Yeah, it was night and day. We'd never done it during a lift.
See, first time ever.
First time.
I tested him, and he was like, you know what? Let's find out. And I was like, all right, let's do this. Because I had a feeling in my mind that what I experienced with this when I met him originally with the founder, right, Rajit, who's the inventor and creator of this, when we met, my brain started going. So when we did it today with weights, doing training, all I can share with you is it was the most amazing. So people are coming to your clubs. People say, why hire personal training? Why would I invest in this? What differentiates your personal training, your services, your whole experience? Because I hear that too, member experience. And I always say back to them, show me your member experience. Stop telling me about it. Well, guess what Christian did today with Instant Cryo? He brought his A game, and he absolutely not only showed me, I experienced it, I felt it, I lived it. Of course, so did he. And then, hey, Christian, tell him what happened when we brought my son in here. You know, Big Darren Viraga there, Big D, 6'3", 255, shredded to the pounds. He loves to lift. And we said, we'll do a little tricep training with you, Darren. And then Christian goes and does his magic. Tell him what that experience felt like, looked like when you did it.
Oh my gosh, man. You could just see, like, he started to get like a little bit fatigued, and then we start spraying him, and you can see the range of motion increases almost immediately. The pump was sweet. You could see just the blood coming into the muscles. It was incredible. And he was saying, he could go back and do single arms again after that on just the one that we sprayed. So we're going to have to hit his left arm. He's going to be walking around limped, lopsided.
Well, now, most importantly, remember what I said, Christian? What was his emotional reaction? Is this something he liked, enjoyed, loved, couldn't get enough of, wanted it, and would pay for it? What did you witness?
Couldn't get enough of it. Yeah.
You get it? So when you're looking and you're sitting there trying to find ways to get people to want to do a free personal training session, to invest in personal training, to continue investing in personal training. And I'm talking about every member you have in your gym, not just the 20% who's already there. What about the 80% of the people who don't want to train because they have like a joint problem or they have poor circulation to certain areas? So, Christian, share with us when we did the imaging on Darren for his lower body when we went to squats, what you noticed before and after, and then more importantly, share with us how he moved and how he felt after.
Yeah, so we did a little like range of motion test on Darren to see what was going on, how deep he could go, and see where the problems were. So Coach over here, he knows all about the problems of tightness in the ankles and the knees and where things are tugging and pulling in ways that are not super stellar for a good form squat. So we took out the thermal imaging camera while I was in the squat, and I see that he's got not inflammation, which is what most people are looking for with this thermal imaging camera. They're looking to see really hot spots because they're like, I'm going to cool it down. That's what people are just thinking, and rightfully so, right? we got the cryo here. Let's take the heat and inflammation out. That's what we're known for. That's what we do. But this is a vascular response. We are sending more blood to the area. So when we took this thermal imaging camera out, what we saw is that on his toes and in his ankles, he had a lack of blood flow there. It looked colder. It looked on the thermal imaging camera like we just did a treatment. And so what I did was I treated his artery lines down the leg, and then you treat the foot, pop that thermal imaging camera back out again. You'd expect it to be super cold. Actually, it was starting to get warm again. We tricked the body into sending more blood to the area to fight off this cold response and this cold threat. And lo and behold, after we did it on both legs, the squat was, how would you describe it?
Well,
You're the coach.
Well, first thing, I was using the functional movement screens, FMS. That's Lee Burton and Gray Cook. I mean, those are the guys that trained me, 15, 18 years ago. So I'm using that screening system because I just want to see how people move. Do they move well first? Most important, do they move well first? Because if they don't move well, they're not going to want to move at all. And oh my goodness gracious. When Christian got done putting the Instant Cryo on him, he moved like so smoothly. Oh my goodness. And he moved so much more easily and confidently. He moved very well, extremely well. And guess what he wanted to do? Move more. So that's what we're looking for. Move well first, and then move more often, and then challenge that load. So yes, when Christian got done, phenomenal job that he did. His skill levels, that's the other thing. This requires training. This requires skill. Yeah, so you want somebody skilled who's operating this to do that and know that so that people get great results, feel better, move better, and then they want to invest in it. Because that was the next question we asked Darren right there on the spot. Would you hire me or fire me right now? Without a blink in his mind, I'd hire you. You're hired. It didn't matter what the price was. Instead of dropping prices and doing all these cheap deals, build more value. Create a better experience for people. Get them better results. Come on. Again, are you kidding me? For under $20,000, just under $20,000? Oh my goodness. It should, to me, it should be no-brainer. But that's just what we're sharing with you today. Okay, so we talked about using it pre-training. Now let's talk, and you mentioned how great it is for recovery. So typically, as we use our definition of recovery, it's helping people adapt to the stress that they just put on their body and be able to come back. Think about retention, we're talking about, in session service, getting them to use their personal training sessions. If they paid fee for classes, getting them to come and use those classes. So this is about retention. So in our as we're talking about recovery, it's allowing the body to adapt to the training we did it and choosing modalities and technology and stuff that's out there to help them be able to come back sooner and be able to come back and enjoy it even more the next time. So just being clear what we mean by recovery. Helping the body adapt, be able to come back and do it again sooner, and be able to come back and do it again sooner and enjoy it even more, and maybe even go to the next level. So progression, got it? Progression. So Christian, today, when Darren got done and you went and you did the recovery on him on his legs, tell us about how he felt about that, what he got up and what he did after that, and what his belief as far as the value of that was.
He started getting up and jumping around. He was like, woo!
Get it? He didn't get up like, oh, my legs are still sore and tired, man, and I'm crawling out, or I'm walking out, and then I'm getting more tired and fatigued as the day goes on. When Christian got done with Instant Cryo, putting it on him for recovery, recharged his batteries. Go ahead, Christian. Just keep sharing that. Let me hear it again. How did he feel?
Woo!
And was he willing to come back again and see you the next day?
Oh yeah.
Would he be able to?
Yeah.
Get it? This is what we're doing. Recovery is the real deal. Wellness is the real deal. Longevity, biohacking, all the things we're talking about is right in that. Sports performance. So we're just touching on a couple of those points. But now, let's go back. Remember we were saying we were spraying it, using it on muscles and stuff, before you go and train on the floor and lift weights. Let's talk about a couple other things going into the personal training side of this, Christian. What about somebody comes in right now and they feel like stressed out, they feel fatigued or tired? Let's say that they're not really in the mood to want to train. what could this do to help that?
Yeah, I mean, look, people are slamming Ghost energy drinks and Celsius and taking all this kinds of stuff. If you got one of these, you don't need it, right? Just supernatural, kickstart the body, get the blood flowing where you need it to. A 30 to 60 second facial with one of these things is literally like slamming 50 cups of coffee with like an extra shot of espresso in each one of them. It feels like you're sticking your head out the car window in the Arctic tundra going 100 miles an hour. It's incredible. It's rejuvenating, revitalizing. You hit them with one of those. You hit them down the spine for 60 seconds. You get that full parasympathetic nervous system activation. And then after that, they are ready to go. Bonus points if you do the hands as well.
Did you hear that? So there's a lot of techniques. There's a lot of secrets to this through the training and education. To me, which is more important, because I know lots of companies and people that they'll go out and buy stuff, or they'll get the cheapest thing that they can possibly find, which we'll get into that in just a few minutes. But what they don't realize is the education. Guys like Christian, who show up and show you live how to do this and deliver this. He's going to be going to a big box brand, a big, very high-end brand here in the next week. So we'll get some feedback on how that goes down as well too. So now let's move forward. So we talked about, think about this, so personal training clients or members show up and they may not want to train today. And guess what? Now we've got something that we can use on them to get them to actually want to go and do their training, have a great training experience and enjoy it and then get the benefits of it. So again, think about everybody just thinks recovery. Look what we just talked about now. We're getting people ready to want to train. We're using on people while they're training and before they do a lift. So look at all the additional ways we're helping you come up with new ways to monetize this and make money with this. So that's why I'm just incredibly grateful to Christian and Instant Cryo for coming down here and spending some time with us. But hey, it's only going to get better. Watch what happens now. So let's talk about this too. So we got it for the recovery. And again, when we talk about recovery, but also in the wellness, sports performance, the biohacking piece, all this goes right into all that. Because again, this could be used before you do an event. Like if you're going to go out and participate in a sport or activity. But now, Christian brought up a great point. I'm going to let him discuss this right now. Christian, I got a sports team. Players showing up for practice. How could this be used same way for practice and then before the practice, during the practice, and after the practice?
I mean, it's really like the same thing, man, right? Like you use this locker rooms, places where people can come in and have the opportunity to use this on a regular basis. Like, I mean, we just see better and better and better results the more frequently you use it. I mean, even all the way up to people saying they reverse their rheumatoid arthritis, you know? The problems that people have been having for 30, 40 years just going away. If you can use it regularly enough, you will train your vascular system and your body to handle certain stressors in a way that is healthy for recovery. And that's what we're doing, right? This is like exercise, just exercising your recovery muscles. So yeah, use this every single day if you can. If you got a football team, before practice, after practice. I know people that use it, football practice is getting too hot. You don't even got to take the helmet or the pads off. Just 10 seconds on the back of the neck, cool down the whole body. Make sure none of those kids overheat. Endless applications for this, really.
And think about that, whether it's a coach, a trainer, a parent, what you're trying to do to protect your athlete, right? Protect them from overheating. Because there's a lot of cases, and there's been more and more, unfortunately, cases on sudden cardiac death and these kids overheating or heat exhaustion. So we're trying to come up with solutions to help them as well, too. Now, but knowing that, is it okay to spray them if they're sweating? That's a good question.
Yeah, absolutely. So the pressure of this will actually push the water off to the side. It's not going to freeze it over or anything like that. It is better if you can do it on a dry surface, but damp is totally fine.
Get it? Because that's a big question that comes up as well, too. I mean, listen to all the information that Christian is sharing with us today. That most people, this has never been done, right, Christian?
What?
Interview like this?
Not with us, no.
Not with us, no.
Yeah.
So, but when I met with Christian and a great friend of mine, Andy Richter, is the one that introduced us, so I'm super grateful to him as well for that. And, E.K. Navine, you know him, super, guru in wellness and recovery as well, too, out there. So we got together and we saw the potential with him and his founder. And it's like there was something that we saw about this that we just said, let's test some stuff and find out, because it's never been done. And when we started testing it and finding out, that's why we're bringing the message to everyone now. Okay? So now let's move on. Okay, so next, we said you can use it for, now he said football. It could be track, basketball, baseball, softball. I mean, any sport that's out there right now, just give me an idea, pre and post. So let's use baseball, for example. If I've got pitchers, right, and they've got, that elbow, that shoulder and everything else, you see them packing it in ice bags. Why would this be a much better option for them? Or quarterback?
Oh, I mean, it's not even close. You got to sit there for 20 minutes with ice on your arm. You're going to get the entire arm. You can take this 60 seconds and do 50 times what an ice pack could do. It's almost a different response, right? We're getting rid of all of these inflammatory mediators. We're draining them out with the increased blood flow, and we're replacing it with like hyper good nutrients that the body needs for recovery. We're just tricking the body into having that response, and we're doing it in 30 seconds. This does nothing. It's your body's the miracle. Your body's doing all the work.
But it's certainly a great assistant.
Certainly a great
assistant. It's like an AI assistant.
Yeah.
There's your AI assistant, Instant Cryo, right? So just kind of give you an idea on that one. Okay, so now we got the teams, we got that. Look at all the things that we're covering for potential for growing your business or bringing in new business or bridging and adding business. Because right now, wellness, which is 6.8 trillion going to 9 point something trillion, it's the fastest growing thing on the market right now. And some of the big challenges with them are sleep disorders, mental focus, which is the same thing for a lot of the top sports stuff, joint pain management. How could this help with like pain management?
Great question. That is actually probably what most individual cryo providers use this for. Pain management. It is one of the fastest pain management systems in the entire world. It's better than Advil. It's certainly better than any other painkillers, which I won't mention on the podcast. But yeah, so this actually, this slows down your brain's perception of the pain. It cools it down so quickly that the brain stops responding to the normal pain protocols. So that's something called nerve transmission velocity. We slow that down tremendously. Same thing with ice, same thing with other cold therapies, but this one is the fastest, obviously. So in 30 seconds, you're pain-free. And that usually lasts people about 6 to 8 hours after their first treatment. They come back again day 2, lasts the rest of the day. Day 3, it lasts through the next morning. Day 4, so on and so forth, to the point where they don't even notice it anymore. So if you're out there trying to build a business with this, you sell someone a package of 5 or 10 of these things, they're going to love you, and they're going to be addicted to it. If you've had pain for 30 years and you've tried everything and this thing takes it away in 30 seconds, there ain't nothing you won't do to get over to that cryo gun. On your way to work, on your way home from work, you're skipping baseballs and funerals, baseball games and funerals.
So you're getting the idea as far as how to monetize this and make money with this. We just want to make sure you know that we're crystal clear and we're certain we can help you and show you how to do that. Now, we're saying a lot of stuff, but here's the thing that's going to back this up. We've got programs that are going to go for all these that you can stack with other modalities that you may already have or you may be looking to add. So we can blend this in with programs and the modalities you do have or you're looking to add to create programs to solve those problems. So if you've got pain management and you want to stack this with another modality, we can certainly help you with programming for that side of it as well too. But again, the biggest thing I noticed today with Christian, and that I'm 100% eyewitness to, and I'm very grateful to him, is he flew down here and he showed us and he demonstrated this, and he was open-minded enough to explore and experiment and go other directions with this because I was so curious. Could it be used for this? Could it be used for that? So when I hear people saying they're struggling to monetize and make money with this, it's like, why is that when you got all these other things? Can it help with that? And today we proved that it absolutely could. And then the next test is going to be on your own. So now, having said that, another big area is like for skincare, right? Aesthetics, body contouring, which is huge as well too. So think about, we talked about you can use this for bodybuilding, group fitness classes, HIIT classes, sports teams, before practice, after practice, before class, after class, before training, after training. So I think we've got you pretty much covered there. We got it in biohacking now. We've got it in wellness. We've got it in longevity. We've got it in sports performance, training and fitness. So now let's get into the aesthetics and the body contouring side of this. So I noticed right over here, there's this little piece that I can add on here, Mr. Christian. So you want to tell us what this piece actually does?
Yeah, it's a massage piece. So you'd spray the gas into that dome. It's made with like medical grade Teflon, and it becomes the world's coldest ice pack. Very useful. A lot of people like to do lymphatic drainage massages with those. If you use the standard black nozzle,
show us how
you
that'd
will.
be looking.
You will, if you use the standard black nozzle, you'll stimulate lymphatic drainage within the body as well. But some people have studied the body for so many years and they want a good massage piece. And these ice packs that people use, they stay around 20 degrees for, I don't know, maybe 3 minutes if you're pushing it on someone's body. Like the jade rollers and whatnot, they get super warm after they make contact with the skin. This will stay at like minus 20 degrees Fahrenheit for like hours. So all you do is spray the gas through there, and then it just becomes a nice tool that you can use to massage. So this is great for just like general recovery. Your regular, any musculoskeletal injury, you can use the spray on. But if you want to get a little bit deeper in there, you can absolutely use this. People love this tool. A lot of massage therapists will buy this and they use it the most.
Now, can you use it on the face at all?
Absolutely, you can use it on the face. Yeah, people love to do it on there for a nice slower treatment. Right. One of the things that people get a little perturbed by is that these treatments are so quick. So one thing that you can do to get people acclimated to this, right? They love the results, but you're used to getting a 60-minute massage or doing a 30-minute hydrofacial, right? You come in, you charge someone $80 to spray their face for 60 seconds. They're like, what the heck? They feel great, but they're just not used to it, right? But that's where these things are going. We're getting faster, right? We're paying more to get our time back. If we can get the same results in less amount of time, why wouldn't we do that? They're just not used to it yet. They will get used to it. But in the interim, what you can do is give them the facial, and then you can switch over to this nozzle, do that whole thing, and then give them another facial, right? Most of your massage therapists or anyone that's doing the aesthetic side of things are going to be pretty well versed in facial lymphatic drainage. They can start doing all that. Yeah, but to your point, the aesthetics piece of it, I would say, is probably the biggest moneymaker there is to be had. It was my first miracle as a treatment provider. I treated some girl with horrible eczema across her chest at the Boston Marathon Expo. 1 60-second treatment across her chest, and then 3 days later, she sent me a picture. It completely evaporated.
Okay, so now I notice this little black tip. Black tip. What does this do?
So that's our standard nozzle. This is the one that provides the most pressure. We'll get the skin temperature down the fastest. This is what I would say to use for 98% of all of your treatments. If they can handle it on the face, I would recommend it for the face. But we do have different nozzles for different treatment applications. The red one they had on before, that exudes far less pressure, like 90% less almost. And that's more so for like open wounds, fine lines. If you want to get rid of like forehead lines, you can really pinpoint it in with that. Just make sure that you got your proximity sensors on because you do have to get much closer. You can do it around the eyes. People really enjoy that. Get rid of those dark circles, any baggage. Couple days of doing that in a row, and the results are just unbelievable.
Especially if you've had a wild night out.
Yeah.
And you wake up in the morning, you got that puffiness, and those, or you stayed out a little late, and you got the dark eyes. Definitely good. Now, he said this is the lower pressure, skin wounds, and everything else. But now I'm gonna take on a different perspective, because he made me think of something. Progression, regression, intensify or simplify. So if you got somebody new, and the black nozzle, which is putting out a lot of pressure, right? Correct. So for somebody really new to this who may have real skin sensitivity, and a lot of times women do as well too, I may start with this one just to start them, to get them comfortable with it, and then progress up to the black one as well too. So just another progression type modality when you're introducing this. Be aware if somebody's really sensitive. So Christian, let me ask you this. Do you know anybody who doesn't like the cold?
Yeah, my mother.
Oh,
Hates it.
Hates it.
Yeah.
So for somebody like that, if I'm introducing this, because think about progression, regression. You bring it closer, it's colder. You bring it further away, it's not as intense or as cold. Same thing here with this tip. It's not putting as much pressure, it's less pressure. So we're just showing you ways too to introduce it to people, to get more people to like this, to sign up with you, because you have multiple levels from a programming perspective and an intensity perspective to be able to address a lot of people, not just the high intensity folks. So what are you going to say, Christian?
Yeah, and that's one to do. Some people, like every once in a while, you'll bump into someone that has something called Raynaud's disease, extreme aversion to the cold. Just happens sometimes. Some people just don't like it, right? It's very rare, but they'll know. They'll know, then they'll tell you before you start doing it, right? Because everyone's taking a bag of frozen peas and put it on their head or something like that. They're gonna know beforehand. They're probably not gonna be seeking you out. But so just be cautious when you're doing people for the very first time. We do have multiple nozzles that are a lot less intense than the regular one, and if they like that, they're gonna love this. So.
All right. Now we're bringing in the big guns. We're adding another tip. This is a new tip, isn't this?
New tip.
New tip. So tell us about the new tip, Christian. I mean, we got this thing on. It's loaded. It's ready to go. What does this tip do that the other ones don't?
Yeah, so that one is, we've developed that one primarily for open wounds. We've been seeing like a lot of it with horses, and we've been hearing a lot of feedback from users that the elderly are getting a lot of those like big gashy open wounds that just do not seem to heal. And you can use any one of our nozzles for open wounds, minus the dome nozzle, but this one seems to just be the most comfortable for those individuals. So always innovating, always trying to make it the most seamless, comfortable experience for anyone that's getting the instant cryo treatment. We'll never stop innovating. So this is just the tip of the iceberg. I'm sure in 5 years it's going to look much different.
Do you hear him? Tip of the iceberg. Nice. Cold play. Yeah, I like that. So now show us the tip you've got and talk about that tip, because it's different.
Yes, this is the original cone nozzle. You can see it tapers off towards the top. It's a little bit more narrow. This one was just developed for doing like larger muscle groups, right? Like, so for an acute injury, right, we want to make sure that we're really targeting the vascular system here, really getting a lot of pressure there. And that's how we get the results that we get with this black nozzle. But let's just say you're working out in the gym and you don't need that intensity, but like some good cold. Still, the best and fastest way you can cool down somebody's skin and muscle tissue is with this. Much faster than anything else, but not as fast as the other one. You can use this. So if you're doing, someone doesn't necessarily have an injury, but they just want to get like their shoulders and their neck done, you have them pop off the shirt, hit them with 60 to 90 seconds of this. It's not too intense. They could do that in between sets without any issue, or during a set without any issue, and just get a better pump and work out harder.
Well, I remember you used this one on me today when I did my biceps. That's why I was asking on this one. I didn't have any open.
Oh, no, it was this one.
Oh, it was? Okay. I got the two confused. I thought you were using that. So it was
They do
that
look
one.
similar.
All right. So it makes more sense. Now, one thing going back to that tip and that nozzle when he was applying it, because you used that one on me and then he used that one on Darren one arm, and then he used the higher pressure one, the black one, the little black tip right here on him on his second set on the second arm. And what was Darren's feedback, and which one did he felt had a better experience?
So in that scenario, he had said that the cone nozzle was a better experience, but it wasn't like, he couldn't tell the difference too much. So this obviously is going to cover a wider range, right? So when we have someone that's actually going through the motions and doing their exercise, and we're spraying them during that process, like we can't get all the way in there and hit every inch of surface area, right? We got to get a little bit wider, a little bit farther away, and just slowly cool down the area. It's still going to be fast, but just going to be a little bit slower than the other one. But that might be a good thing too, right? Because we're not tightening the blood vessels too much. So we're allowing the body to push through this new stressor on top of the weights.
which I thought was I think that was really what made it so successful, because that was the one that you used on me as well too. And the one thing I remembered was that how long it lasted. So let's just touch on that one point real quick. So when he finished and I finished my set, it's not like it was there one moment and gone the next. It's like I'm still feeling it and it's still sticking. That pump was still sticking. That swollenness was still sticking for many minutes, like up to an hour afterwards. And that was on one set. That was the craziest thing. So again, a lot of the newer studies that are being published nowadays are saying, hey, one good set of heavy lifting per muscle group or area is more than significant enough to get good results or just keep people at a certain level that they're not going to regress. Well, I'm just sharing this. Today when he did that, it was like that one set lasted and lasted and lasted. And back to his original point, what was the reason why it lasted? Talked to him about what it did to the blood and the whole area there, and then the blood started coming back and back and the heat coming back. This arm just felt exhausted and fatigued. This one still felt great and fresh and ready to keep going. So just interesting point. And then Christian, what would you add to that as far as the reasoning why that stayed so long? Because it did it to you too.
Yeah. So
I wasn't as good at doing it though.
It's a twofold thing, and it was cool. Your veins were still popping out, like they looked much wider than the picture we took before you did it. And you only did like one set of bicep curls, right? It wasn't like we'd been working out all day.
It looked like I was though, right?
But yeah, it looked like you did a lot because your veins were like much more dilated all the way through lunch. I mean, I don't know, it might still be. But so we've been saying that this increases blood flow, right? It dilates the veins and brings blood flow to the area. But that is because when we immediately do this, we cause vasoconstriction. So we siphon everything off. We tighten everything up, just like other cold therapies. Now that signals to the body to make more nutrients that are critical for tissue repair and recovery. So we need that. But then the rebound blood flow rate, something called reactive hyperemia. You don't need to remember that. You can just remember way more blood flow. But because we do this so quickly and we bottom out the temperature that we're able to get to before we burn ourselves or cause any sort of inflammatory response from too much cold, the body switches into overdrive and then supercharges the area with blood, bringing it back to normal. It's just like increase in recovery. So while he was lifting, body's trying to fight, he's trying to pump more blood to the area, right? We're cutting it back a little bit while he's doing that, right? Signaling to the body to start making some more nutrients. Okay, so then he does all that. We're cooling it down. He's pumping it through. He lets go. The body kicks into that reactive hyperemia state, sends all the nutrient-dense blood to the area, and it was like he never even did a set. He probably could have done 10 more after that.
Yes, of course.
Getting the pain reduction, or maybe not 10, maybe 1 or 2.
9 and 8, 8.5.
But yeah, so reducing the pain signaling, increasing the amount of blood flow to the area. I mean, it's just so much is going on a cellular level here. It's just amazing, and you can feel it too.
Oh, like I said, felt it for an extended period of time afterwards. So let's move into a pretty intense topic now. Let's talk about kids. And I'm talking about anywhere from 8, 10, 12, into their teens, especially dealing with depression, anxiety, maybe suicidal. How is this able to help with that?
Mental health?
Yes. Because I know that the cold, if you're spraying the brain, hey, you sprayed that face. Remember what happened when you sprayed Darren's face? You got that response where he felt fantastic. He was great. He was energized. He was ready to go. But he went from a state of not really ready, not really wanting to train, kind of feeling like, I'm not sure if I want to do this, to now all of a sudden feeling fantastic and ready to go. So could it help with similar situations like that?
I would say it could help in the interim. Yeah, I wouldn't say that it'd be like a viable treatment option for clinical depression. But yeah, I mean, if you're not feeling so great and you do one of these on your face, it's tough not to smile afterwards. I'll tell you what. Yeah.
And that's what we're trying to do. And as far as the energy levels as well too, if their energy levels down, like you get kids that kind of lethargic, sit around doing too many video games, you want to get them up moving. I remember when another area you sprayed on Darren was back on his spine. Why did you do that, and what did that do?
Yeah, so we'll do that, like especially when we're trying to wake somebody up, because you know, all the nerve endings lead to the spine and go up the spinal column to the brain. The brain shoots it back down. That's how we have any sort of response in any part of the body, right? That's how we communicate throughout the entire channel, the entire system. So when we do a spinal treatment, we are hitting all the nerve endings. We're not having a crazy vascular response all over the entire body, but we are having a full body cold shock response up the spinal column. So we are going to increase things like epinephrine, dopamine, norepinephrine. We're going to start to feel better all over because we are tricking the brain into saying, hey, we're cold everywhere. So it's a quick and cheap way to do it, right? So you don't got to go take a cold shower, hit the face, hit the spine. It's not gonna feel exactly the same, but if you give it a few minutes, you're gonna start to notice that you got a lot more pep in your step.
That was absolutely the number one thing I noticed about Darren. When you got done spraying him, he turned around, he's like, woo, screaming, and he's jumping. I thought he was gonna jump through the roof. I mean, he jumped that high. You'll see it on the video that we shot of him. Dude's jumping. I thought he was gonna go through the roof. He was that energized, felt that good. Now again, he's in his 20s, early 20s. So somebody young, kind of feeling that way, got him in a good mood, got him wanting to move, wanting to be active, ready to take action, ready to do something. So here's another question as we get towards the end of this. How long does this last? If you give them that good spray and you do that, how long is that? So I spray this post-exercise. How long does that normally last?
I'll get you through the workday. Yeah, I'd say usually like I would put it under the same barometer as like the pain management symptoms, right? So it'll last like anywhere between 6 to 8 hours afterwards. But the more frequently you do it, the more you're training the vascular system, the better the results you're gonna have. You're gonna start to feel good all the time when you do this regularly enough. You're gonna get better blood flow to the face. You're gonna have better skin. You're gonna have better collagen synthesis. You're gonna just feel better all the time. The more you do it, the better it works. It's like anything, right? You go take ashwagandha. They're like, how long does it take? 6 weeks. Don't take 6 weeks for this. It takes a lot less time, but the more you do it, the better you start to feel. Yeah, and let's go back to kids really quick, because I think this is one of the most important things about this piece of machinery. In the wrong hands, this can be very dangerous, right? You're shooting liquid CO2 at people minus 108 degrees Fahrenheit. The propensity that people have to burn through people's skin is high. It happens often. Not with this, though.
Why's that?
Because we got the automatic shutoff in there. And not only do we have the automatic shutoff, so this thing will read your temperature, read the skin temperature, and when it hits the target temperature of 39 degrees Fahrenheit, the blue light turns on, signaling, okay, it's time to move from here to right here, and you keep on moving it around until you've hit the entire area. But if you leave it in one spot for too long, let's say you have an employee that's pretty new at this and they decide they're going to go give it a whack, right? Now people usually start thinking, well, if cold is good, then more cold must be better. Not the case. You're going to hit a point where if you do it too much, you're actually going to trigger a crazy inflammatory response. People's skin start to boil and bubble and fall off and scab, and it's really ugly. And it's horrible. Like, if you've never experienced it before, I hope you never do. But you might if you don't buy this one and you buy something else. This one will shut off once it surpasses the therapeutic range. And those settings are customizable. So if you're working with a child that has skinny limbs, you can set it to shut off at 32 degrees. No burn potentiality there. You're totally fine. But now let's say, we don't want it to shut off at 32 degrees because we're dealing with someone that might be a little bit heavier, might not have as great a circulation. We hit that 39 degree point really quick. Well, we're going to be having customizable auto shutoff settings in there. So that way you can work directly with your client and say, okay, is this comfortable? How you feeling over here? How you feeling over here? And get to that point where we're getting the most cold possible before we have any sort of negative side effect from too much cold. So that'll be adjustable and available within the next couple weeks.
I like that. So we got a couple points to finish up on today. So obviously, why Instant Cryo? There's obviously other options on the market, so people have choices. Remember, you have choices. We're only trying to sit here and assist you and help you make the best choice for your business. So again, I don't know another company that shared as much information as we have today about what this one can do compared to just what theirs can do. And then the next thing is with those options, those other competitive options that are out there on the market, some of them are much less expensive, some of them are more expensive. So share with us, why would this be their number one choice?
Yeah, so this is the only one not made out of plastic on the market. It's made of aircraft grade aluminum. It's built to withstand the cold. It should last you 15 years. And the reason we say it should last you 15 years is because that's when we pretty much assume that the rechargeable batteries in there are going to kick. So it'll last you a very, very long time. And not saying that there's never been a problem with this, but I mean, far less than our competitors with the plastic products. And if there is, we don't try and hurt you for parts, or, you know, we get you a new device just like that. Make sure you're up and running as fast as possible. We don't want you guys to have downtime. We want you to be stoked about this. So there's that. The other thing is the post-sale support that you get with our team is, I've never seen any other company, worked with another company, or bought from another company that has post-sale support like we do. You got any questions, and I mean anything related to this, you can hit us up by text message, phone call, email, WhatsApp, however you want to get in touch with us. I've walked out of concerts to take phone calls for people, and they just wanted to know, hey, like if I'm treating someone's left knee, should I also do the right knee? Yeah, no problem. No problem. If you call me on a Saturday, you're going to get me a little less professional, but you're still going to get me.
Love that.
Yeah.
So you're getting the idea. So the quality of the way it's manufactured, made, the support, the warranty, and everything else that's on it. Hey, number one to me, more important than all that, is the safety protocols. Let's also, another thing is about the programming. Can you update the programs that are in here? Because I know other devices that are much less expensive, you can't update the programs, or it's not as well. So safety that you've built into here, is that probably the highest standard of any other product that's on the market?
1,000%. Yeah, we're the only company that has these safety features.
So think about that. One lawsuit for the amount of money you may save on something way less expensive, yet just keep that in the back of your mind. That's more important to this company, Instant Cryo, is this safety and preventing any type of lawsuits or injuries or accidents happening in your business. So that to me was number one most important thing when we looked at it. The quality of manufacturing, super high quality manufacturing, the warranty, the customer support, the education, the hands-on training piece was another phenomenal piece for us as well too. So the different attachments and the nozzles and the specifics of each one of them. And again, just like he mentioned before, they're learning all the time and they're adapting and updating all the time. So they're not sitting there statically saying, buy this one and done, and then it becomes a piece of garbage once it breaks and you can't reuse it or do anything with it. So when you're shopping, just making sure that you pause and really, because here's the thing I'm willing to do, and I know he is well too. When somebody asks me, I say, hey, have that other company show up and do this live in front of you and your members, and let the members decide, and then you decide. Because, hey, I know I'll go toe-to-toe with any company on the planet with Instant Cryo, and I dare them, which means have the courage to take action to do the same thing, competing to see who's the champion of the world when it comes to cryotherapy. This is it. This is number one choice because it earned it and it proved it, and so did Christian. So I give them all the credit for that.
Thank you.
So now, one last question. When it comes to body contouring, that's a huge subject. Spraying the fat, killing the brown fat, helping, hey, cottage cheese. You know, that cottage cheese look around the legs and some of the other areas of the body. Stretch marks and stuff like that. Does this have any validity or credibility when it comes to applying it for that?
Yes and no. So let's start with the no. A lot of other competitors on the market, there's only two. They're all going to tell you that they can do body contouring or permanent fat loss with a device like this. What they claim to do is trigger a cellular death protocol called apoptosis. In order to do that, you must hold the fat tissue at a temperature of around 30 degrees for over 45 minutes. Usually these treatments are around 60 minutes. You can only, and this is with a device called the cryolypsis. And here's how you know they're ripping it off from them, because they literally follow the same 10-week protocol that they do with the cryolypsis. Once a week for X amount of minutes. You can't do 60 minutes with this thing. You'll rip your skin off. You'll rip your skin off. So can't do it that long with it. And the results are mediocre. So what they are seeing, though, because people are getting results with this, right? What's happening is they are getting rid of inflammation in body fat. And fat tissue happens to hold quite a lot of inflammation. And so there's an issue with it where when we have inflammation, we have these pro-inflammatory mediators in the site of the tissue. They signal back to the body's master inflammatory pathway called NFKB, right? NFKB, just remember that. When you take an Advil, it blocks NFKB. When you take a Tylenol, that's what it's blocking. That's what's helping you get rid of the inflammation, by blocking that off. So we have these pro-inflammatories in the site that we're trying to get rid of. We treat with this, and it siphons off the blood flow, pushes those out of the way. Then we open up the blood flow, and we send anti-inflammatories to that site. So we're replacing all these pro-inflammatories with anti-inflammatories and cutting off or modulating the connection between the pro-inflammatories and NFKB. And so if we do this enough times, we can drain out the inflammation from the fat tissue. Now, it's going to come back if you eat Doritos and cookies and seed oils and all these things. But what I liken it to is if you could do this regularly enough, because you have to do it consistently. So when they tell you to do it once a week, that's so wrong. Because the problem is, if you get rid of those pro-inflammatories, you don't get rid of all of them, they're going to keep calling back for more. So you got to do this regularly enough that you can drain them out faster than they can call back for more. So do it 10 days in a row. Do it 5 times a week for 2 weeks. Get someone in there. You can charge the money that you're looking to charge for cryo slimming with this thing, but let them know that's what's happening. You're not getting rid of fat tissue. You're getting rid of inflammation. So it looks like you did a sugar-free diet for 2 months and it took you 2 weeks. You could do it for people getting ready for weddings, people getting ready for cruises or vacations. The coolest one to do it for, though, because these are the people that see it the quickest, is do it for people getting ready for bodybuilding competitions. Do it for 7 days in a row before their event and watch them tighten up. It's unbelievable. It's getting rid of that little bit, getting rid of that water and the cellular debris, any crap that's sitting in there. Watch it melt away.
That's phenomenal, man. Now, what about that cottage cheese kind of look in some of the tissues and stuff? I heard that that's from a lack of blood flow. I don't know if you've used it or done any work with that, but that was another area I was kind of concerned about, because I thought this could help with that blood flow again in there, help that tissue kind of get some fresh blood and get it healthier again and help it to maybe look a little bit better. So maybe I don't know if you've done that
Absolutely.
yet.
So the problems like that, or like loose skin, things like that, come from a problem of a skin elasticity, right? So when we retain water in certain places, we mess with the skin elasticity, right? So like that's why we see some people, some people go on this like carnivore diet, lose like 400 pounds. They don't have a single carbohydrate. They don't have any loose skin.
Right.
And the reason being is because carbohydrates can help us, or aid in helping in us holding water in certain areas of our body. So when we do this, we're getting rid of water. We're getting rid of excess water, excess cellular debris, all those inflammatory things that are pushing on the skin and making it have that lopsided configuration. So if we're doing this consistently in conjunction with our diet and our exercise, we'll watch that skin get back to normal, right? We'll get rid of that excess water and increase blood flow to the area that's going to contain the oxygen and the collagen that we need for healthier skin. And then if you do it consistently enough in conjunction with diet and exercise, you should see it smooth over like you never had an issue.
Wow. And hey, we want you to look good, feel good, and move good, so that you want to be out there being more active in life and enjoying life and having a better quality of life. I mean, that's what all this is about. Yeah, yes, we sell a product. Yes, we sell services and education. Yes, but our business is to really legitimately help people make money by getting great results with high quality, safe technology, modalities, and products that are out there. So with Christian coming down today from Jersey,
New Jersey.
How you
New
doing?
Jersey. Hey, how you doing? Can you actually say that on camera for us?
How you doing?
There you go, official. That's an official one. And now this is the Southern version. How you doing? But hey, super grateful for you spending time with us today. Super grateful for Christian coming down here from New Jersey with Instant Cryo. Hey, I'm giving Christian the last word, man. Say goodbye and say thanks, man.
Hey, thanks for having me on, V-Man. Appreciate it.
We out.